Muhannad Ayyash is a professor of sociology at Mount Royal University. He joins me now live from Calgary in Canada. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. So what is different this time around when it comes to this meeting at the White House and a possible ceasefire?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm afraid there's not much difference from what we've seen over the last year since the Trump administration took over. There's a lot of talk about, oh, it's around the corner. Oh, I'm going to bring peace to the world and, end this conflict and so on and so forth. But I'm afraid that we shouldn't expect too much from this. What I suspect will happen. Look, I mean, I have no insider knowledge here into what they're going to announce in this meeting and the plan that they're going to put forward. But I can safely predict what we will not see in this plan. We will not see a demand for all Israeli troops to withdraw from the entirety of the Gaza Strip. We will not see a plan to allow UNRWA and other UN agencies who are professionals at delivering humanitarian aid to take over the delivery of humanitarian aid across the entirety of the Gaza Strip. We will not see any kind of commitment to the establishment of a Palestinian sovereignty or a Palestinian state in any parts of Gaza, in any form of self-determination for the Palestinian people. We are not going to see any acknowledgement of the fact that Israel has not only violated international law, it has trampled all over it and made a mockery of it. So long as we don't see any of these elements, we shouldn't expect much from this plan. And my suspicion is that what this plan is really about, the reason why they're saying, oh, it's going to go on until 2026, your reporter is absolutely right. If Hamas already agreed to the ceasefire that Israel had already agreed to, why are we waiting until 2026? Well, the reason is simple, I think. They're trying to buy Israel more time to continue with their project of conquering as much of Gaza as possible. I believe that the plan that they're going to put out will be designed to allow Israel to continue to expel Palestinians from Gaza City, from the northern parts of Gaza, to cement their position there and the creation of permanent, security outposts across the Gaza Strip, expand, so-called buffer zones, and so on and so forth. So I think this plan is going to be just an attempt to allow Israel to cement its position of strength in the Gaza Strip over the coming months.
Right, and Muhannad, I believe we all know what can possibly bring this seemingly never-ending Israeli onslaught on Gaza to an end. It is a phone call from President Donald Trump to the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu telling him to stop. Right, and I mean, as I understand from what you have just told me, this would not be a part of discussion. I don't think Donald Trump would be even giving this idea any thought. Okay, should I give a call to Netanyahu now? Because, see, here's the thing. Donald Trump himself is under a lot of pressure from within the American public, right? There are protests in the country. And of course, on some occasions, Donald Trump even acknowledged that there is a starvation in Gaza. The children over there are hungry, but yet he continues to support the Israeli government and Netanyahu, in fact, even calling him a war hero a few days ago. So when it comes to Donald Trump, because since he is the one who can bring an end to this war, what do you think needs to happen in terms of influencing Donald Trump to call Netanyahu to end this?
Trump would have to be convinced, primarily, I would say, by the Arab states, that it is in his self-interest and the interests of the United States, especially the political and economic elites, to do that. To drop Israel, not drop Israel completely. They're not going to be able to convince him to do that. He sees their interests as too closely aligned. But to stop relying so much on Israel to advance his personal interests and the interests of the United States when it comes to generating wealth and power. I think that's the only thing that would move Trump. And since no one is making that case, at least not convincingly to him, I don't foresee that any kind of the kind of call that you're talking about will happen. A different kind of call will happen. They are in constant contact, and I think they're still on the same page in terms of the Israeli onslaught against the Palestinians, and as well Israeli attacks on Syria, on Lebanon, on Yemen. the Israeli attacks on
Right.
Iran are all happening in such a way so as to, quote unquote, reshape the Middle East. This is why, as well, the Biden administration was on board with this. They like the idea of a reshaping of the Middle East in a way that will only or primarily
Right.
satisfy the interests of the United States. And
If
this is
I,
still the path that they're on,
yeah,
unfortunately.
if I may, Muhannad, see, one thing that I fail to understand is why does Donald Trump keep ignoring the fact that there is a significant portion of the American society that does not want this war to continue? So domestically, it's not in Donald Trump's favor. Yet he conveniently ignores this and continues to support the Israeli government because Donald Trump, of course, as we all know, is someone who likes to think about what serves as to his advantage, right? He's someone who's always going to see whether or not what I'm doing right now is going to be beneficial for me. I can't say if it's going to be beneficial for the country, but certainly he takes into account what's going to be beneficial for him. So why do you think he keeps ignoring this when it comes to Israel?
He's not running for re-election. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to run for re-election again. So, I think in the narrative about Trump, I think we've overemphasized how much he likes to be adored and praised. I don't think that was ever the end goal for him, is to be just praised. He also wants to be enriched and wants to have power and wants to have powerful friends. I think those are more important to him than public praising. I think they will, by the way, in their plan, they're already alluding to this. They're going to try to sell it as this great humanitarian gift to the Palestinian people in Gaza. This is a joke. Nobody believes in it, but they're going to try to sell it that way. And I think part of his Republican base will buy into that. But I do think actually some of the pressure coming in from younger Republicans, he is seeing it. He's not blind to it. We've seen him make some comments that he is aware of it. He probably does foresee a problem for pro-Israel, like unconditional support for Israel for other Republicans in the future. But why does he care about that? It's not like Trump is committed to the Republican brand or anything. Well, as soon as he's gone, he doesn't care what happens to it. So I think that partly explains why he continues to behave this way in terms of the public pressure that is building from within the United States. He can continue to ignore it, much like Netanyahu, by the way, can continue to ignore the pressure from the protests in Israel. He knows none of those people are going to vote for him anyway. He doesn't really. There's not much pressure on him really being generated from those protests so far.
Fascinating insights. Muhannad Ayyash, thanks very much for joining me here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.
My pleasure. Thank you.